Dear students, we go with one more definition. Square matrix. In a matrix, if number of rows equal to number of columns is called square matrix. Ante, first of all, it should be a matrix. In that matrix, number of rows equal to number of columns. Such matrix is called square matrix. This matrix is named as capital A. How many rows? First row, this is row, this is column. How many rows? 2 rows. How many columns? 2 columns. Number of rows equal to number of columns. So this is a square matrix. One more example. Matrix is named as B. 1, 6, minus 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 2. How many rows? 3 rows. Columns? 3 columns. Number of rows equal to number of columns. So this matrix is called square matrix. In the previous video, we learned the position of an element. What is the position of this 1? Just for the sake of recollection, we try to identify its position. What is the position of this 1? This 1 is located in third row. First row, second row, third row. So third row. In which column it is located? First column. So the position of this 1 is 3, 1 position. 3, 1 position. Since the matrix is named as capital B, its elements are denoted with small b. Third row, first column. So B31. Precisely, we say 3-1 position. This is a 1-2 position. This is a 2-3 position. This is a 3-3 position. Right. We go with another definition. Rectangular matrix. We can easily say what is a rectangular matrix. In a matrix, if number of rows not equal to number of columns is called rectangular matrix. Number of rows is not equal to number of columns. Matrix it must satisfy the definition of a matrix. Elements are arranged in rows and columns. Number of elements present in first row may contain same number of elements in the remaining rows, and the same happen in the columns. Rectangular matrix antunnaru ante, first of all, it must be a matrix. It must satisfy the meaning of matrix. In that we are discussing rectangular matrix. మ్యాట్రిక్స్ అవ్వాలి, దాన్ని రెక్టాంగులర్ అని ఎప్పుడు పిలవాలి అంటే ఎలాంటి మ్యాట్రిక్స్ని రెక్టాంగులర్ అని పిలవాలి. హౌ మెనీ రోస్? 2 rows. How many columns? 3 columns. Number of rows is not equal to number of columns. So this is a rectangular matrix. One more. 7 minus 2, 4, 5, 3, 4. Enclosed in square bracket, or you can use curve bracket named as capital B. What is the order? 3 rows. How many columns? 2 columns. Number of rows is not equal to number of columns. So this is a rectangular matrix. Row matrix. Row matrix. A matrix having only one row is called row matrix. అంటే మ్యాట్రిక్స్లో ఒకే ఒక రో ఉండాలి. హౌ మెనీ రోస్? ఓన్లీ 1 row. How many columns are there? You may have any number of columns. In this example, there are 3 columns. The restriction is only on row. It contains only 1 row. It may have any number of columns. Such matrix is called row matrix. One more example. B equal to -1, -2, 3, 4, 5. 1 row. Columns: first column, second column, third column, fourth column, fifth column. Number of rows: only 1. This matrix is called row matrix. It may have any number of columns. There is no restriction on columns here. Row matrix means matrix having only 1 row is called row matrix. If you observe, is it a square matrix or rectangular matrix? Number of rows not equal to number of columns. So this is a rectangular matrix, which means row matrix is always a rectangular matrix. It never be a square matrix, except only when you have one element. See, this is a matrix. How many rows? 1 row. How many columns? Only 1 column. Except matrix having only 1 element, except in this case, in all the cases, row matrix is a rectangular matrix, except matrix containing 1 element. Column matrix. Now we can easily say the definition of column matrix as of the row matrix. A matrix having only 1 column is called column matrix. There is no restriction on number of rows here, because this is a column matrix. it must contain only one column. There is no restriction on rows. How many rows? First row, second row, third row. So 3 rows. But only one column. Only one column. So 3 by 1 matrix. One more example. 4, 5. How many rows? 2 rows. But only one column. Hence, column matrix possess only one column. Most of the times, column matrix is also a rectangular matrix unless the matrix contain only one element. How many elements are there? 3 elements. How many elements? 3 elements. I mean here 2 elements. 2 elements. If matrix contain only one element, suppose D, contain only one element, 4, 1 by 1 matrix. Except in this case, in all the remaining cases, either it is a row matrix or a column matrix, are always rectangular matrix, except matrix contain only one element. I think you are very clear about the definitions of row matrix and column matrix.